Alright, I apologize that my voice sounds really horrible. I've been kind of sick lately, at least today anyway. And so this is just like a pre-introduction. I'm going to discuss kind of a little educational rant about certain aspects with transits and looking at charts and how it's not what it seems, that there's black and white, with hard aspects always being negative and benefic or soft aspects being positive. Because people have argued with me in recent discussions on social media about trying to tell me I don't understand aspect functions. So first I'll do the introduction, then the second video will actually go into breaking down the current transits to give the examples as to what sextiles and trines are going on right now that are impacting certain conflicts on a global mundane scale. So just a heads up, this will probably be about four videos, just because I'm going to try to break it down for all the people that are ADD out there. You're welcome. Alrighty, so I guess in the spirit of the moon just entering into Sagittarius, I'm in teacher mode. So I've been feeling really ranty lately. I think that has to do possibly with the fact that it's Aquarius season. It's also another air sign. They're usually the narcissistic, know-it-all air sign, even though I would argue some people even would agree with me that Libras tend to follow that too. And again, Geminis are too, if they could focus long enough to get their idea across. But Aquarius has usually come off like the bombastic asshole most of the time. And if people would say, well, that sounds like you, aren't you an Aquarius? Well, I am an Aquarius MC. So that also plays into my, not only my public persona, but my social media personality, or whatever. So I like to use arguments as a teaching opportunity, is to actually start arguments. Jokingly enough, I do have psychopathic signatures, so the fact that I feel that degrading someone and riling them up and provoking them is the best tactic for teaching them something. If you can't see how those two correlate together, and that's how my behavior is, then go take a psychology class. One of these said opportunities happened in a Facebook astrology group, which, again, I don't give them that much credit for any of their knowledge, because most of them are amateurs, noobs, or wannabes, or, just, people who are passionate about the subject and just don't have the thorough dedication of research study, or maybe resources to do so. I'm not totally sure. Basically, they were arguing with me about functions of different things. Most people that are familiar with my videos know that I obsess about the repercussions, functions, and effects of certain things. So that's totally something that I've obsessed on, probably too much. So they tried to tell me that sextiles and trines are always positive. And I tried to explain to them, well, I have even posted videos about certain trines or sextiles having negative consequences on people's emotional stability, psychological stability, or the relations between other people. When there was a trine, I can't remember exactly, with Neptune in Pisces and Mercury in Scorpio, there was a huge depressive slump that people are feeling, especially people who have Plutonian signatures. I.e., actually a Moon in Scorpio group was really responsive to my discussions about that. And then other Scorpio suns as well, and me, I didn't necessarily feel it, but again, I have Scorpio, Mercury, and Pluto in Scorpio, but psychopathic, so, I don't have that issue. Which Saturn conjunct the Moon causes psychopathy signatures. So you would not be very empathetic. How Saturn depicts how the Moon molds the individual's emotional capacity. It's a generational planet. If you're just looking at generational planets, I'm talking about Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, and Saturn. those ones are supposed to be like the vibe. They're supposed to set the story, essentially. Gives you like when, where. So the chess analogy, I guess. The actual board being set and where the pieces are put before a match actually begins is, in essence, what the outer planets do. They establish the board itself, they establish the checkered patterns, they establish where the pieces go, they establish how far the pieces can move. The personal planets would be the ones that would be the direct move of each individual piece. The limitations therein, where like the knight can only move in an L shape, or the pawns can only go one at a time and primarily forward unless they're killing something. All those limitations are set also by Saturn, so that's an outer planet, a generational planet. So that's where fate and free will come into play. You have the free will to move your horse or whatever, your knight, any way you choose. But the rules of the game, if there's a piece near that can, within its own limitations set by the established law, the natural law, can kill it, that is your choice to sacrifice that piece or move another way. But you cannot choose to then just completely go outside the bounds of those limitations and make the knight move way over like it's a queen or something. You can't do that. Follow this formula. So you know how there's certain steps to like a algebra equation? There should be like a universal formula to help people interpret a chart. I know that a lot of astrologers don't like to reveal how they interpret charts because they make their own special way, but it's not their own special way. They just are projecting their own internal validation, and then what they want that to be, or what they think is most important, and making an order of it. I mean, that's all it is. There's no secret to it, because a practicing astrologer that actually knows what they're doing and practices regularly will actually develop their own method. And even if somebody were to copy your method, the perspective and interpretation that they may create on their own will come up with a completely different interpretation. For example, my boyfriend, he hears me talk about the show all the time, probably more than he wants. And there's been a couple times I've shown him just like the app on my phone. I'm like, what do you think this means? And I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about how he was talking about like it was like a philosophical like meaning kind of thing, or like Socrates or Plato. Platius is Plato, Platus, did I say Platus right?
Sure. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Plato. The philosopher that his name looks like Pluto, and I always want to call him.
Plato?
There we go. See, in my head I just call him Pluto. I know what he is, but I just, yeah. See? Find my own way. I can spell it out though. I could Google it and show it to you. Just get over the fact that I'm never going to say anything right. I'm going to blame it on my Gemini rising. That's what Rick Levine says. He has a Gemini rising, and he says that's why he makes up all these crazy words. I'm like, yeah, you think they're cute. I mean, I kind of, every once in a while they're funny, but, he's an Aries. He doesn't really see how his flat one dimension kind of interactions and interpretations with people. I don't think he understands that. He can't get outside of himself to understand how silly he kind of looks. This is how you can understand why trines and sextiles don't always have positive